Guys, and welcome. Today I'm going to go for a walk in a minute, local park, have a look around. They're doing some refurbishment to parts of the park, and they're actually putting a community orchard in there somewhere. An orchard, as you well know, is a grove of apple trees, and this is a community one. I know of one other community orchard in Kent. There's probably loads, but one that I do know of is near Canterbury, and they have 4 or 5 different types of apple tree growing there, and it belongs to the community, and they're quite old trees as well. So some are past their best, but there's some nice old varieties, like Jason Gold's, a good tasting Cox's Orange Pippin, and Laxton Superbs and what have you. Laxton Superbs are lovely apple, they're really big. You don't see them so much in the shops, they're too big for the shops. But the purpose of this video, and it's going to take a long time to do, I'm going to, obviously there'll be 2 scenes, one of me cutting and the other one in about 6 or 7 hours time. I'm going to turn this, it's a piece of British braising steak. I'm going to turn it into jerky. I've got to dry. I shall go around the various bits in a minute and show what I'm going to do. Jerky is one of them trial foods. It's a wonderful piece of food. If done right, it's really nice. Now, I've seen lots of videos done on the net. I mean, I'm just one of many videos. And they do marinades, and they do various sauces, things like soy sauce, teriyaki sauce, Worcester sauce, you name it, they make a marinade of it. To me, either making biltong or jerky should be kept very, very simple. Ground black pepper and coarse sea salt. This is non-iodized salt, coarse sea salt, or if you can get it, kosher salt. And we should go through that in a minute. So guys, I'm just going to grab a few bits. I'm also going to go and dry some of these off today. I've never dried figs, so I'm going to put them in the dryer and see how they come out. I've got them on a reduced stand at work, so they're dead cheap. Great to experiment with. I quite like figs. So anyway guys, without further ado, I shall carry on and get on with doing the biltong or the jerky. Thank you. Right, so here we go guys, with a little quick tour around what I'm going to do. A bowl, which I'll put the black pepper and the salt in. Obviously the meat and my ulu, my knife, which is made by a friend of mine at work. I'll pan around. Oh, that's tonight's stew, slowly cooking away. There's the dryer. It's a wonderful piece of kit. And while I'm cutting the meat up, I'll explain a little bit on jerky. I'm wanting to do some other things, but anyway. So that's the dryer, pan around. Salt, pepper, coarsely ground, a bowl, and the meat to be cut. And of course, if I come over here, that's the fruit that I'm going to cut as well and dry. So let's get on with it. Right guys, I'm going to get on with it. So black pepper. I quite like the taste of black pepper. I think it's got a wonderful pungency about it. And salt. This is coarse sea salt. I actually use this for making my sauerkraut, which I've got some red sauerkraut doing its thing at the moment, fermenting away, and I've got some in the fridge that I've made the other week. So basically what you do is you grab your ulu now and you just cut strips. I like strips about that thick. This takes about 6 hours to do. And what you've got to try and do is, I've got a vein of fat here which I will have to cut away. The fat doesn't obviously bode well in the biltong or the jerky. Biltong is a word from South Africa, and it means strips of buttock. Jerky, just as far as I know, means dried meat. Now, the idea I've got of doing simple jerky is watching one of Ray Mears' programs, and he he was out with a Shoshone elder, and they were drying elk meat on a little rack. Ideally, what would be a really good idea was to actually do this outside, you know, cut it up outside, a really hot day, little smoky fire to keep the flies off. But unfortunately it's late February, it's very sunny, but quite cold out. We've had a bit of rain, so it's kept the frost off, and there we go. It's kept the frost off, but regardless of whether you do this indoors or outdoors, it makes a really nice accompaniment. It's a really good trial food as well, keeps well, and it's wonderful. Now, as I say, this is the idea of doing it really simple comes from this program with Ray Mears. I've made jerky outside before, and some years ago we had some. I was on a buckskin making weekend, or week actually. It ended up being a week. We did wood whittling as well, and on that week we not only did the person that was running the course get a load of deer skins, we also actually had a shot red deer, and that was so we could gralic it, paunch it and skin it. There's a little bit of fat there, we trim the fat off, as I said. That's for Alfie. Alfie! There you go, mate. He gets spoilt, that dog, yeah. And I say and we did we processed the whole deer. Obviously we ate a lot of it as roast meats and what have you. But we also made jerky and all sorts of lovely foods out of the meat. This is a remarkable piece of it. This, incidentally, this is my ulu, which a friend of mine made me for me. I was going to buy one from an Alaskan company. It cost me mega bucks, but this, in fact, was done for free, which I very much appreciate. I've got an antler handle, and the blade was made out of circular saw. It took him a while to do, because obviously, like me, he has to work as well. And trying to fit all this wonderful knowledge that we acquire in between whiles can be quite difficult. This is the awkward bit when you get near the fat, trying to take the meat from the fat. Right, there we go. Well, that's for Alfie. Go, little fella. Good God. Right, now I'll just drop that into the bowl and give it a quick swish around. Now I like to leave it for a little bit so the salt can actually work on pulling some of the moisture out. Right, as I say, that's the meat I used. That's the company I work for, Morrison's, but it's British beef braising steak. I normally look at the reduced section. I can get, normally for this price, I can get a bit of fillet steak that's been reduced. It's going out of code that day. I'll bring it home, bang it in the freezer, and then take it out when I need to biltong it. Nice piece of kit. Well, anyway guys, so I'm just going to clean up and and then chop the fruit up. So you've got to remember, hygiene is very important in this game. Keeping your tools clean and keeping surfaces clean. Just good hot water often suffice. You don't often need a lot of the fancy cleaning liquids are there for selling the products. You know, a lot of companies sell more by perfume. Right. So I'm going to chop these in half. I hope these dry out nicely. They look quite nice actually. But chuck a couple away because they were going a bit funky. But this is a superb knife. In fact, if you're watching this, Sandy, how about going down making some of these as well? I reckon there could be a market for them somewhere. It lives in the bottom of my bag when I go away for weeks. These are cutting up really nice. I hope these dry up quite well actually, because they're quite a moist fruit. I'm just sort of exploring drying other things out. I actually got the dry because I wanted to do biltong. Right, so there we go. So basically what I'll do now is I'm going to take the top off the I want to cut away to another scene now, guys. Right, there we go. I'm going to lay the meat up. Quite simple. I mean, it takes about 6 hours. That's 78 degrees. It's pretty good. You can actually do it through the oven. Turn your oven on very, very low, and it'll do it that way. But I bought a dedicated dryer because that way I know the gas isn't going to blow out, and I've got a good control over the meat that I'm drying. This isn't a lot of meat actually. It's just me, because I've got to take a piece of this as well, and it does us both about a day. You know, so. But it's good stuff and it's great. I'll take a couple of bits to snack on in my tea break. So I'll put this on the right, and then lay the old figs out. Never tried this before, so it's going to be an interesting experiment. You see, we often think about all this stuff that we do, this outdoors. We spend a lot of time outdoors exploring and practicing our various little skills of fire lighting and what have you, but we often forget the food side. And I mean, there's a lot more to foraging. I mean, you forage your food, you go out there and you, okay, I forage this from work, but you know, you go out and you find your ramsons and your black currants and blackberries, wild strawberries, the hazelnuts and that. And it's nice to eat them on the hoof as you go along, but it's nice to get them home and make your various preparations. Like later on, in a couple of months' time, we'll be doing rams and pesto and rams and butter, which I quite like. So I'll put it all together, work we go. Right. There we go. Right, there we go guys. Oops, excuse the wobbliness. All set up and ready. So, turn it on. Yeah. Okay, there we go, 6 hours time, it should be ready. So I'm going to go out for a walk now, and I'll see you in a bit. Bye. Well guys, 6 hours have passed and there's the result. This is my beef jerky. What taste it is too. Very, very nice. But that is basically what you end up with. Just put it on a chopping board so you can see what we got. Got a nice chewy consistency, which I like. There we go. Right. There we go. Jerked beef or biltong. Dead simple. Black pepper, salt, either crystal salt, sea salt, or just ordinary salt. A little bit, not too much. It adds a little bit of saltiness to it, which I quite like. And of course, I've got that nice spiciness of the black pepper. I have made this out in the field. I was on a course. We're making buckskin and carving wooden bits, and this was part of the deer process, as I mentioned earlier. But there we go guys. Now I hope you like the video. I'll bring around, and that's the dried fruit, so I'm going to give these a bit longer. I think you could do it a bit longer. And these will be the dried figs. So I hope you enjoy guys. I hope this has inspired you to have a go yourself. It's an Andrew Jones dehydrator and it's very, very good for what it does. I've done apples in here and I've done oranges. I do sliced oranges in the winter for decorations, and you can do all sorts. So I'm going to have a go at doing some dried apple and other bits and pieces. So there you go guys, my biltong. See you later.